I'm Eric Nazer with Newsshooter.com, and it must be Wednesday because I'm with Ted Sim from Aputure, and he has some exciting news for us today. Ted, what do we got?
Alrighty, so for our fourth and final week, I know a lot of people have been asking about this product for a while, so here it is. This is the new 600d. And basically, this is a product that we showed prior in the past at IBC. When we showed it before, this was not a product announcement or even a product release. This is just something we wanted to show a prototype of to get some feedback. And we got a lot of feedback. Believe me, we see it in the comments of articles on things like Newsshooter and stuff like that. So we took all those comments, re-implemented them into the design. We asked a lot of questions online, and we have it here. So for a lot of people that are wondering what is this product in the first place, 600d is a 600 watt raw output LED. Now that is different than a just 600 watt power consumption LED. A lot of LEDs out there, they market how many power consumption watts that they actually pull. This is actually the actual LED itself is pushing out 600 watts of raw power. The entire unit by itself is actually pulling something closer to 720 watts, meaning that yes, this is the brightest point source modifiable light on the market, which is something we are extremely proud of. So again, like the other Aputure lights, this does have a built-in bones mount, so I can swap this out with any reflector or modifier or softbox or BD disc, anything that I want to snap into here. So my hard light can now be a soft light, which can also be a snoot or a spotlight or anything that I want to do. An ellipsoidal, one light, a light engine with different modifiers. On the actual control box here, what we want to show off is basically just a couple of the things we've been working on over the past year, a couple of the big implementations. And again, this is really a complete redesign as far as the controller box goes. We got a lot of feedback from you guys. Number one, I just want to show off the old controller box versus the new controller box. You can see this is literally a third the size of the previous controller box. If you guys are familiar with your 300D Mark II cases out there, your controller boxes out there, this is about a little bit taller and about twice as thick as that controller box. It is stunning in real life. It's very, very great to hold as far as the actual build quality goes and the rock solidness of it. Again, like the previous mounts, you have three ways to mount this. You have the paracord on the top here, so you can hang this off. You have lightning clamp here, which is actually just a clamp that allows me to attach this via Mayfer on the back over here, a super clamp. However, I want to attach this onto my actual light stand. And then finally on the back here, we've also got feet, so you can actually lay the controller box onto its floor by itself. And that's helpful because we've got these super long new cables. One of the things that I think we've been getting asked a lot for is being able to make something that is weatherproof. So first off, let me just say that these right here connectors are now newly weatherproofed connectors, so you don't have to worry about that. But let's go one step further than that. The actual light head itself and the controller box are now fully weatherproofed. So if you actually wanted to leave this out in the rain or something like that, you're going to be okay. As far as the actual output of this goes, again, if you wanted a tungsten or an HMI equivalent, again, we don't like those in general, but a 600D is going to be approximately about a 5K tungsten as far as the raw output. So that's a huge old-fashioned studio light that we're going to be competing up against. Likewise, for HMIs, we're looking at something that's about a 1.2K HMI. So very, very excited. And again, only pulls 720 watts of power total. So you can plug theoretically 2 to 3 of them on a household circuit. Now, as far as the actual controller box goes, when you go onto here, you'll see you've got a new OLED screen. We've tilted it up so that when you put it on the floor, you'll actually be able to see, be able to angle it up for wherever you're going. Likewise, you've got built-in effects. And on this actual light, I am blinding the camera right away with these effects. I'm going to go back to lightning mode and just kind of turn down that brightness for us. I can dim the light. I can change it to whatever intensity I want. This is 1%, by the way. I'm blooming the camera already. I'm going to turn that off. I can dim everything here, but I can not only control it on the actual fixture itself, which makes, again, the entire weight load of the light a lot lower. We can keep that on the stand, act as another sandbag on the stand. But likewise, if I want to control this via something like Sidus Link or a wireless app control, I can do all of that as well. So the entire Sidus ecosystem, same thing that's controlling MCs or really small Aputure lights, we'll be able to control the 600D. It's all built into one workflow. And every light in your network actually powers up that network workflow. A couple other changes from the previous 600D that you saw is one, you can now see that we've got this curved yoke over here. And the curved yoke over here is basically useful for a lot of reasons, but the number one reason that I'm just going to say off the bat for why we want something like this is a lot of the time, especially when you're using a bright light like this, again, we see you guys on set, main thing you're trying to do is you're trying to tilt it down, right? So when you want to tilt it down, you don't want the light to hit the yoke itself. So by having this new curved yoke, I can now point entirely and straight down and get my light fixture set up without needing to rig out an arm or something like that. Also, this is particularly handy when I'm trying to use that bones mount, for instance, and this is something that we have never shown to date, but again, we want to show you guys what we've been working on all this past time. But if I want to swap out the new hyper reflector that's optimized for the 600D chip, I can actually swap that out with this right here. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This right here is a full 10-inch for now that we have built for a Bowens mount right here. It does have a back rear element. This is a similar design to the Fresnel 2X, so it is much larger. And unlike a lot of Fresnels out there, which actually advertise and pretend as if they have a real 10-inch Fresnel as far as the plastic or the metal to the metal, our glass, the actual glass is a full 10-inch Fresnel, which means that you're actually getting the real size that you're used to with seeing on a traditional tungsten light and traditional fixture. Now, for a lot of people out there that want those larger Fresnels, again, we know the reason why. It's a hard light that's punchy, but at the same time, because the Fresnel is so large, it creates a little bit of a soft quality that looks really good on faces and things like that. So if I want to mount this on, because we've got that curved yoke, again, all we have to do is just snap that into here. And now in one place, I can change this in. So all in one place, I now have the Fresnel and the actual yoke all attached here, and I can spot and flood this however I want as well. Now, as far as the actual fixture goes on the Fresnel 2, if we wanted to go in as well and put on things like barn doors or such, all I need to do is head on over here. So I'll pop this in. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so if I want to slip in things like barn doors or anything like that, all I got to do is just grab a set of barn doors. And yes, again, these right here are full 10-inch Fresnel barn doors that will snap on and be able to open and shut. If you're asking why are the barn doors so large, if you're asking why are the barn doors so large, the first thing you need to know is basically that when you're using a Fresnel this size, something that's this big in quality, the only way you're actually going to be able to cut that is if you're going to be able to use barn doors and things like this. Doors need to be big enough to be able to cut it and actually be able to shape that light. So for a lot of you studio guys out there, you guys are already very familiar with this kind of stuff. We are finally putting it into an ecosystem that you guys know and recognize. But the actual fixture itself, pass this off, is significantly smaller. So you can see right here, the fixture is tiny, the Fresnel is large. Light quality that you're getting is going to be the same light quality while being a lot lighter, using the benefits of LED, cool to the touch. And of course, it is very power efficient as far as it goes as well. Now, let me pop this off for you guys real quick. And the last thing that we want to talk about is control methods. So I think a lot of people out there have been asking us for a while, what about Luminaire? You know, Sidus is great. We can use Sidus to control the entire Aputure ecosystem. Likewise, we've already got wired GMX that goes into basically most of our lights at this point. But for the 600D, yes, this is fully Luminaire compatible now. So this controller box here is not only weatherproof, but it is also something that can be controlled via your entire DMX boards, whatever wireless system you're going off of. Finally, as far as powering options go, a couple things here. One, you can see the reason that we were able to make this power box so much smaller is because on the side here, it's just 2 battery plates now. Now, the 600D can be powered at full power on just 2 batteries. It's going to need 2 pretty beefy batteries. It's going to need 2 15 amp 28 volt batteries or 26 volt batteries. Now, if you have those batteries, again, battery technology is accelerating every year. It's almost like data or memory storage. Battery capacity is exploding, but at the same time, for people that want to use 14.4 volt batteries, which is basically what we recommend for the 300D Mark II, for the 120D Mark II. For those, you will be able to power this light at half power if you use 2 14.4 volt batteries. Or if you want also, we also have another thing called a battery box, the little battery power station that we'll plug into the bottom here, break off into 4, and you can actually put in 4 14.4 volt batteries, and you can still get that max output out of the 300D. Likewise, if you wanted to also power this off of, because again, we know on set, your power options can be varied. A lot of people work in a lot of different ways on set and production. If you want to be able to power this off of something like, say, a block battery, that is also capable and possible as well. You can also plug that in as well at the bottom. Finally, one of the things we want to know here is a lot of people have been commenting, hey, this control box, you know, if I look at it the right way, it almost looks like a battery charger. So, why the heck not? So this controller box right here is not only something that actually pulls power from batteries and actually powers the light itself, but if you patch this into wall power itself, the controller box will actually charge batteries while it's in use at the same time. So if you want to charge V-mount or gold mount batteries, you guys know that's not a very affordable tool for a lot of people in the first place. That is something that we have built into here as well. So this will charge batteries while it's in use. So waterproof, charges batteries, 600D, brightest point source modifiable light on the market. Very excited about this one, and this is what we got to show today. And if you've been watching and basically tuning along and watching Newsshooter, the last thing I want to talk about is a light that I feel like a lot of people have been asking about, and you guys have been extremely patient for this. And today we want to finally show it here and finally make a big announcement about it. And I'm going to pull it out real quick. That is the one and the only Nova. So for everyone out there wondering what is the Nova is basically an RGB WW LED panel. So RGB WW meaning it has 2 white chips to balance out that color spectrum, meaning that you're going to get better SSI scores, better TLCI scores than a lot of the industry leading market fixtures. Likewise, as far as brightness goes, we're looking at something that's approximately about 70% brighter than the SkyPanel S30, which is something that we're also very, very excited about to show onto the market. And a lot of people have been asking about this light. We know there's a lot of features that people have been waiting for. Today, it would not be the end of our 4-week releases if we didn't say something about it. So, big announcement is Nova pre-orders are officially going to be live in 2 weeks. They're going to be live officially starting on May 27th. They will be available. They're shipping in 6 weeks after that. So, they've arrived. Thank you for the patience. We know it's taken a long time to work on this, but we want to release it as something that you guys would be excited about. As far as the price point goes on this as well, too, this is finally confirmed. We were able to get the price point of this down to $16.99, so it's going to be $16.99 to buy the light by itself, or $18.99 if you want to get the light and the full case and the kit, which is all in the rolling travel case. So, thank you for the patience. Thank you for being excited about it. Thank you for all the feedback, which has again really powered this light and kind of made it what it is today. All the products we make are like that. But other than that, these are our new releases. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. But other than that, these are the new releases, Eric.
All right, well, that wraps it up here. I'm Eric Newsshooter with Newsshooter.com. Thank you so much for Ted and Aputure to show us some really cool stuff over the last 4 weeks. Make sure to come by the site. We have a ton of new stuff all the time. We're not just doing Aputure on Wednesday all the time. I know Ted would probably like to see that every week, but we can't do that. All right, thanks a lot, Ted.